Hey everyone, have I here been a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we're going to be breaking down and guiding you through the most difficult stage in the Ultimate Red Zone, and that is BROLY. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So as we wind down toward the end of the 7-year anniversary, we've been waiting for the final stages of Ultimate Red Zone, and in my opinion, BROLY is the toughest stage in the game. And hopefully this video will help you and guide you through defeating this amazing final stage on the Ultimate Red Zone. So first and foremost, let's break down this stage in of itself, and let's look at why this is a very difficult stage. I would say the first stage here, there's 4 stages. The first stage here is not very difficult, meaning that you can actually do a lot to the strength Broly, that's the base form Broly, that is. You can stun him, you can seal him, do a lot of modifications, and he's really just kind of getting you geared up toward the 4th stage. You need a lot of units to stack and to build up defense, because as you get going to the 3rd and 4th stage, it's going to be a nightmare. So the 2nd stage is the Tech Wrathful Broly, and he's actually pretty difficult, especially if you're going to be bringing in a lot of AGL units to counteract the 3rd stage. So he could be a little bit tricky, but generally speaking, he's okay. Again, you're just building up your character here. And then when you get to the 3rd and 4th stage, again, the reason why this is the toughest stage, the 3rd stage, is because it does have an AoE super attack. And we all have experienced through the God of Destruction event, things of that nature. Those are generally the most difficult events, because all your characters need to be able to deal with the super attacks and to tank those super attacks, because you know, he's going to hit all the characters on the screen. So you got to be prepared for that. It is a strength type, so if you're bringing AGL, it's going to help quite a bit. However, on the 4th stage, you're going to need to bring tech units, and with those tech units, again, you're not going to have that that type advantage on the 3rd stage, but you're going to need it on the 4th stage, because the full power Broly, he does multiple essays, right? He can do 2 essays in a turn, and he can just rip you apart if you do not fall or have the characters correctly or fall in the right spots there. It's very important you have some really strong defensive stacking units, so or some units that are going to give you some version of damage mitigation as well. So let's kind of dive into what units that you need to be bringing. You need to be focusing on super tech for the final stage here, and then the super AGL is going to be beneficial on the 3rd stage. So as we kind of go over the team builds here and the particular units that you should be bringing, be mindful that, you know, you're not going to need all these units, but it's going to make your life a lot easier if you want to run it like this. So the first thing I want to talk about is certain characters that you want to bring for this event that is really going to be the MVP of your team. And first and foremost, it's this unit. If you don't have this unit, get him some way somehow, right? And that is the God Tech Goku. He is really the MVP. If you can use him on any of the teams that you're going to be running, you can see the categories he's on here, quite a bit of categories there, but generally speaking, he's able to tank everything, right? Because he is you're fighting a movie boss. He's able to have damage mitigation tremendously, and you're not going to really have any issues when you're putting him in front of any attack. So he is purely the MVP. If you can't use him, it's going to be harder, but generally speaking, if you can use him, it's going to be a lot easier to actually complete the stage. The next unit that you want to look at is, that's an MVP, and that's really for a leader, is the new 7-year anniversary LR Gods. So the LR Gods, of course, if you're running them, you can also run this unit here as well, so double MVP on your team. His ability to stack, his ability to be a type advantage against the 4th stage, of course, is the huge benefit here. Absolutely a lot easier if you have the LR Gods. If you don't, again, a lot harder. There's some other teams that I'm going to go over that's going to help you, you know, be able to go ahead and complete this. So the next MVP unit is an old unit, but still aging very well, and that is the Tech Ultimate Gohan. Of course, we know his stacking ability, his guard against all attacks, being that he's able to guard, he is going to still be very strong on the 3rd stage, as well as he continues to build up his defense. So, and he's going to be type advantage. he's already guarding anyway. It's all good stuff for that fourth stage. So MVP absolutely for the Ultimate Gohan, the Tech Ultimate Gohan. Finally, there's one that's a little bit interesting here, and that's going to be the Tech LR, or not LR, but Tech 17 and 18. And I'm going to give a shout out to Dr. Duro and 20 there as well, 19 there as well. So the reason why is these units here have the ability to nullify Ki Blast or Ki Blast super attacks. And guess what? That's what BROLY does. So if you're able to run it on a team that you can use to go ahead and nullify these Ki Blasts, is basically damage mitigation anyway, because you're not taking any type of damage. So very, very strong opportunity for you to use these units here to go ahead and nullify those super attacks there. So so those are, in my opinion, your MVPs, the ones that are going to make or break kind of your run. And if you have some of these units and you're going to run into these units on your team here, it's just going to be a lot easier. So let's go ahead and break down some of the teams that you can run. And again, hopefully this will be, again, a guide for you to get through the stage. You know, you can even try no line running the stage if you like. It's very difficult to do, but of course with items, it's going to be a lot easier. So let's first start off with these 200% teams here that generally you should be able to do fairly, I won't say easily, but you know, fairly well. That's your first couple attempts if you have these particular units on here. Of course, if you're running the LR Gods, that team there is going to be very, very powerful, and you'll be able to stack a bunch of different units here. I did bring in the Tech the Tech Gogeta here, just because if you want to do like a no item run, he's able to heal, he has some damage mitigation, you're able to, you know, see where the super attacks comes in when you go ahead and transform, stuff like that. That's going to be very beneficial. Now I did put LR EZA Goku on here. I know he has not EZA'd yet, so you can basically run some of the alternates here, maybe like a Broly or something like that. You could put him in place of Goku, but when he EZAs, he's definitely an option that you can run. Makes it a lot easier on that third stage there when he's a strength. So I think that's very beneficial. Of course, he can counter super attacks as well. Along with this unit here, you can do the same thing in countering SAs. So I think this lineup is fairly easy to go ahead and beat. Again, if you can't run this now, you can run some of these other units here. Primarily, I probably start with the Broly here. You can go ahead and plop him down in this spot as of this time. Of course, you can, if you don't have the God. So I actually probably should have taken this unit out, because it doesn't make sense if you're running if you're running this, you probably don't have this. But if you, I guess if you just want to just mess around with different teams here, if you run the LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, the LR Gogeta here, you can run a very similar team. You can bring in the EZA Patara leader in the OG Fusion Vegito. Again, you can use them kind of for a no item run, so you can heal up. And he's going to have damage mitigation for a couple turns. However, he doesn't stack or anything. He's going to be a little bit of an issue. But of course, you can bring in some of these other units on here to go ahead and help out. And of course, these units start to stack, and by the time you're in the fourth stage, you should be good to go. Now, this is a risky one here, of course, being that this is a strength unit, and you're going to be running against AGL. But as long as he exchanges into the Gohan, you're going to be fine. Just got to get to that point. And when he's able to do that, you should be okay. Of course, you can then also run an EZA Goku at 180%. So once he EZAs as a Goku's family team, which is pretty much what that is here. And a couple other highlights here. Of course, you can bring now the Gohan on here. This unit here just does incredible damage to the AGL Broly here. So you can bring him just really for damage purposes and just get it all done here. This unit here just, you know, is able to support everyone else. I'm bringing this SSR just because he has damage mitigation, he can stack, he can do all these things. When this guy TURs, man, when you guys awakens, he's going to be incredible. And of course, you can bring that Goku in there as well. So that's an option here for the Goku's Family Super Saiyans team for 200%. So these, I would say, are kind of the easier ones to run, and probably more common that you have some of these units on here. Now, really, the 200% teams, you can defeat BROLY, but you have to have the 200% leads, right? So some other 200% teams that you're able to run, of course, is going to be the Ginyu Force. Ginyu Force is incredibly strong, guys. It just does well constantly with this on here. Now, you know, the Raccoon does, is great ability to mitigate damage. Of course, all these mitigate damage here. He guards against all attacks. So this team, yes, you should be able to, I won't say easily, but can run through even like a no item run or something of that nature with this type of team here. The Android Cell Saga with the transformation cell is another option here, because like I mentioned before, the nullification with these two units are very, very strong and beneficial. The Super Strike unit, really good as well. If you want to bring the Super 17s on here, you can. And you do have a couple other options. I actually should have put a couple of different alternatives you can run here, but generally speaking, this is just going to be a lot easier if you run it this way on the Android Cell Saga. Now, the Majin Vegeta team is a lot harder to actually accomplish, being that you need a Trunks, and there's really not a good Trunks at this point in time, right? So, especially a Trunks that's going to handle, Broly. So you could bring the AGO one. This Tech one stacks at least, and you might get down to this point here, but he's a definite liability on the third stage, right? So you might just want to bring this unit here. And yeah, you really don't have too many alts on this to really help you out. So so just think about this as an option of is not a strong option to actually run. Now, when this unit comes out, when this bad boy comes out, he is going to be hugely beneficial for this team here, and then you should absolutely be able to easily run through the Broly, even though he's not like type advantage, things of that nature. But LRGG is LRGG for a reason, so so in a sense, just keep that in mind when that unit comes out. So now let's go ahead and dive into a couple 170 teams if you're not lucky enough to get some 200%. So there's a couple teams that it's going to be hard. It's going to be very difficult to run, but there's 3 teams that I'm showing here that you can bring in and try to go ahead and complete this. And the first one, of course, Pure Saiyans, having that large catalog of different units that you can run. This is going to be a lot easier than I would say most other options here for 170. And of course, you're bringing the gods again. If you have the gods, you're going to be running gods as leaders. So this will be more of a challenge. I guess I should just take this out. Maybe you can plop in one of these other subs in here for that reason. So I have both 7-year anniversary, but you can kind of get the idea why you can absolutely run a Pure Saiyans team to go ahead and beat Broly here. Now, Hybrid Saiyans is another option as well. I did run this option here. If you're able to have them on like main rotation after in a sense they link up, it's a bit risky, but they should be able to do quite a bit of mitigation for that last stage, but it's kind of tricky to get to that point. Then finally, Kamehameha is the final option here. You can run some really strong units again. I just noticed I shouldn't be really putting these 2 units on here. I do have some options you can run and try to beat the stage, but if you have one of these, you're probably going to run that team instead. But this has a really good combination, right? This has, you can run all 3 of these units here, and this unit's going to just, do very strong. So anyway, that is pretty much the breakdown. That is pretty much what I wanted to show you guys, and hopefully this video helps you complete this ridiculous event here. The red zone for a while is going to be the hardest stage in the game, and yes, this Broly is very difficult. But again, hopefully you guys will be able to beat it with this guide here. So with that, if you are new to my channel, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. Good luck to you all when this comes out, and have a good time. Keep on Dokkaning, and we will catch you next time. Later.